Hello and welcome to the Lou Review. This is your host, Rosa Hart, and today my guest is Nicole Allender with Hometown Brewing and Craft House Pizza.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here today. It was so nice to meet you the other day at an Apron Inc. fundraiser.
Yes.
And you guys are hosting one here coming up, aren't you?
We are actually on January the 31st, which is in about a week. So we are going to be at our Westport Road location, and we are going to be with Apron Inc. Obviously, we'll have Hometown Brewing. Ellis Simpson, our head brewer, will be there doing samples. And then we have Green River, who's going to be doing some bourbon samples.
Ooh, I love Green River.
5:30 to 7:30. So we'll do some happy hour specials and then just try to get people out to support Apron because that's, they do so much for everybody in this community, especially restaurants. Get out and support them. Come see us, and hopefully get to see a lot of friendly faces.
Yeah. So what can people expect to find at Hometown Brewing and Craft House Pizza? What would you say sets your stores apart?
I think for us, our story is a little bit unique because we started just as a family type restaurant, and we still are very much that, but we had an opportunity to open up a brewery in 2019. Our owner, Tom Brown, and Cumberland's owner, Mark Algar, they have been friends for a very long time, and Mark kind of approached us and said, hey, are you guys interested in brewing beer? Well, it just so happened that Ellis was a home brewer. Aww. So he had experience, and Tom was like, pizza and beer go great together. So it gave us a different market to where we could reach people in Louisville to, expand in pizza and beer, which is a great combination. So we really have had a lot of fun with pairing pizzas and the beers that we make. We get to do collaborations with other breweries. We've done one with Gravely and Noble Funk, and we have one with Butchertown coming up. So that's been a really fun side to see, and that part of the restaurant industry or the brew industry in general is just super fun. It's fun.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's like they're not competing. It's just everybody's getting together to enjoy a common thing that they love together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would say that's one of the best things about being a part of the community is that there really isn't a competition. I mean, people brew different beers for reasons, and it just gives more variety for everybody to enjoy. And then everybody's just so nice. I mean, they're just so nice and friendly, and and calm. It's probably because you get to drink beer, but
probably.
But they're just so nice. I mean, everybody, and they, they're always willing to help out or, try to think of ways to get creative with your brand, and it's just been fun.
Yeah. And then, so would you say you have anything special at Craft House Pizza that people couldn't find at other pizza places?
We try to stay as local as possible with some of our ingredients. I mean, we are Kentucky proud produce from Griffin Produce in Mount Washington, Kentucky. We have a lot of products and sauces that come from Pop's Pepper Patch.
Oh, yeah.
And he's local. He's great. Bill has been wonderful to work with over the last couple of years. And if we come up with something crazy and say, can you make this sauce? He'll try it. For us, we are always trying to put out something new and different. We just launched the taco pizza. Ooh. It was our LTO. It's coming to an end, so we can bring in another.
Okay.
But I don't want to spoil it because there's a couple different ideas that we have, and I don't know which one is going to be the most fun to do next. So we're trying, but every couple months we want to bring out something different that it's exciting and people look forward to coming to get. A lot of people have their favorites though. If you
for sure.
If you have your pepperoni pizza or your bacon cheeseburger that's your go-to, it's going to be hard to pull those people away to try something new. But
why do I feel personally called out? Because my kids only want cheese and pepperoni.
Well, and I know you like the bacon cheeseburger, so
I do.
That's why I called those two out because I know that you've had them both.
True.
But there are people out there that like their regular orders, and then there are people out there that want to try something different, and so we're trying to offer that to them.
This is me raising my hand. I want to try something new and different, so sign me up. So if people want to know when new things are going to be released, is it better to follow you on Instagram? Is that or
Instagram and Facebook are big for us right now. Everybody keeps telling me to get into TikTok, but I just don't know if I'm cool enough for that. So I don't even know where to begin. But Instagram and Facebook, we do post things on our Google pages as well. Social media is is ever changing. And so you've got to try to figure out how to get people to follow you or to stay engaged. And we have a loyalty program, which I love, because every time you spend money with us, you get points towards, free pizza or, a free $10 that you can use. And we send out, coupons. Then this month alone, we sent out, $10 off, and we're sending out another one tomorrow for a free breadstick and, free cheese stick. And so we're trying to reach people that way as well, so they can stay up to date through emails or, what's going on with us.
Well, you know what? I would be remiss not to mention how popular your gluten-free cheese pizza was.
Yes.
A while back, you gave us some cheese pizzas for a sleepover that we did. And, oh my goodness, these little girls, like, all they wanted was cheese pizza. But one of them has to have gluten-free. And so it's always, I feel like, a toss-up, like when you get something that's labeled gluten-free as to whether or not that means it's going to taste good. And she loved your pizza so much.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. So thank you for providing something yummy for the gluten-free people.
Well, it's becoming really popular for people to ask for gluten-free options.
Yeah.
Whether it's a preference or whether it's, some sort of allergy. And we want to be cautious with people because they're coming to us and we're saying we have a product that we can provide to them that is safe for them to eat. And so we tasted a lot of gluten-free crust to get the one that we have. And I think it tastes great. Okay. I do. I think it's awesome. So I'm glad that we can still provide something for those with gluten-free. My brother just recently got into gluten-free, and so he's excited because he's like, I know you have a gluten-free crust. And I'm like, yeah. And our toppings and everything, we just try to be super cautious with that because it's important.
Yeah, well, thank you for making that a priority. Yeah. You don't always think of a pizza place as being the safe place to go when you're gluten-free, so that's really cool.
And for kids especially, I mean, pizza is a staple when you're a kid. Yeah, it's something that you wait for on Fridays or Mondays or Tuesdays or whatever days you and your family get pizza.
That's the exciting meal of the day.
Pizza is great for kids. They get excited about it. So the fact that we can do that and provide them. I mean, we have other toppings, but cheese is a big one for kids. Yes. But we have other toppings as well, so you can get really creative.
So I would love to hear more about how Nicole got into this. Like, did you sit around your house when you were little thinking, I want to make beer and pizza?
Actually, no.
I'm relieved to hear that.
Yeah, not at all. I honestly never thought that I'd stay in the restaurant industry. I thought that I would be a lawyer. I wanted to do contract law in the sport industry.
That's very specific.
It is. So, but, I started, when I was in college, I started working as a server and kind of worked my way up, and they approached and said, do you want to do management? And I go, that'll be great for a resume. And then they said, do you want to be a general manager? And I said, that'll be great for a resume. And then by the time I was graduating from U of L, I was a GM in Bardstown, Kentucky, and then at Preston Highway.
Nice.
And a position came open in corporate for marketing and IT, and I said, I'm going to school for that stuff anyway, so let me give it a shot. And well, here I am. And actually, as I got further into it, I saw the potential of restaurants. As long as you take good care of people and they take care of you, you can be really happy and successful. And so I found my bit of happiness working with the people that I work with and seeing how well you can reach. Networking is the big thing, how many people you can reach. And then, the guests are great. You get to know their stories and you get to talk to them, and that's what makes you stay. But being able to see it grow the last couple years has been very exciting. And so I kind of feel like it just worked out for me the best way that it could have.
Yeah, definitely. And, sometimes you just got to say yes to opportunities, even if it didn't fit in your 5-year plan.
Yeah.
So, like, who could have predicted the last 5 years?
Yeah, it's funny because even now when I talk to some of the workers in the restaurants, they're trying to decide what they want to do with their life. And I'm like, look, you just got to find something that you're good at and something that makes you happy. And it doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles to it. Sometimes things will just pop into your lap and you didn't realize you enjoyed it so much. And so go for that route, go for something that you can truly wake up and say, hey, I'm excited to go to work today. I love what I do. And if it's restaurants, then let it be restaurants. That's okay.
Right.
And I think we found out during, 2020 that restaurants are a big part of people's lives.
You mean they're essential?
Yeah. Yeah. We are,
Wow.
we are somewhat essential. I mean, because of the social aspect and just being able to offer something different. Not just us. Every restaurant in the city of Louisville or anywhere was very much essential for people to keep their sanity. I mean, really. So that 2020 just changed. It changed a lot of things. It really opened our eyes into what we could do to be successful.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
Well, you're a big supporter of all the restaurants, which is greatly appreciated.
Started in 2020.
Yeah.
Because, what else are you going to do? You can't really go much of anywhere. And things started to open up, and it was really exciting because it's somewhere I can go outside of my house, and then I met really cool people like you were talking about. The restaurant community is so full of amazing people who are so talented and passionate about what they're doing.
Yes.
And I mean, that kind of happiness and joy is contagious. So I want to be around it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, food makes people happy.
That's true.
I mean, and good food makes people even happier. So to be able to have that and then meet people along the way that also kind of fit that criteria of just fun, exciting, and new. And, that's really kind of where you stick is you're just like, hey, I love this atmosphere and I'm going to come back to it. And so we are really trying to focus on that with, new hires and things like that. Just people to understand, like, this is not just a job. This is a lifestyle, and enjoy it while you're here, and enjoy meeting the people that sit at your tables or come in for a carry out. Like, you never know. It could be the next best thing for you.
Yeah, exactly.
And like I said, the Apron Inc., Kimberly and the, people that we've been involved with, meeting you, and you all are so supportive of us. And like I said, of other places that it's just so appreciated. And I just don't know if you could go anywhere else, any other city, and get that kind of love like you get in Louisville, Kentucky.
I don't know if you could, because you've got these like flashy foodie cities, but they're so big, I doubt it could be as tight knit, but
yeah,
I'm always open to find out.
Yeah. By all means, put me on a plane. I'm ready to go.
About this either, right? So if we just need to, really get to know the Chicago food scene, we have some overlap. I mean, we're starting to. I feel like, especially if they're talking about bringing a train to Louisville that connects us to Chicago.
Yeah,
I mean, we could share chefs.
Yeah,
They
I'm
could
all
go
aboard
back
on
and
that.
forth on the weekends or something.
I'm all for
It'd be
that.
the Louisville/Chicago foodie community.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with that. We are franchising, so maybe we could throw a franchise in Chicago and just take the train.
Yeah, that'd be really easy to take all the stuff up there. Speaking of franchises, okay, you talked about your Westport Road location, and then I've been to the Taylorsville Road location.
Yeah.
It's by the Snyder. So what other locations do you have?
So we have Preston Highway, we have J-Town, which is the Tyler Center, and then we have Fern Creek, Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, Westport Road, and we are going to be opening up in Germantown in the next couple months. Yeah.
Fantastic.
We've got a couple more. I wish I could, say that maybe for another time, but
They're cooking, right?
Yeah, they're cooking. They are about to pop off the oven, but but Germantown we have already started renovations for. That one's going to be unique because it will be our first quick serve type restaurant. It's a little bit smaller than what we're used to, but still going to have sit down. It'll have Hometown Brewing on tap, but for us, we'll be focused on, it'll be a lot of takeout, third parties and things like that. So new for us, there won't be servers on the floor. There will be food runners and managers, and I think it'll be cozy and it'll be personable because you'll be able to interact with the guests from a management level, which is kind of hard to do when you're full service.
Right, exactly. And there's so many more people than there are you. So if there's a smaller group of people to choose from, then
it's going to be cozy. And I think that's something that, like I said, for us is going to be interesting because a lot of our restaurants are pretty large and very open concepts. So this one's going to be a little bit smaller. Still going to have the exact same menu. It'll be full menu. It's just going to be smaller.
Hey, well, you know what? That sounds like a great offering for Germantown. So congratulations to them.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to see see it when it's not being torn apart.
So we're hearing about your business side of things, but you have a new project in the works coming this summer, don't you?
We do. And, we're still working on this, and I've spoke with you before, just trying to get some ideas. And thankfully, you have introduced us to some other people that I think can help. But we are going to be launching Hearts and Crafts, which is our nonprofit. The goal for that is to be very community driven in projects, landscaping or, rebuilding kitchens or, fixing up a classroom.
Yeah.
I think it's important to really stay focused with kids. So anything that we can do to make their lives easier, whether it be providing books or school supplies, we'd love to do that. Parks, I think parks are so important, especially during the summer for families. So I'd love to see us build, a pavilion or somewhere at one of the parks to have families gather and just hang out and maybe even get some of our pizza and take it there.
See? Yes. And be like, this is the park where you have Craft House Pizza.
Yeah, this is the Craft House Pizza Pavilion.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we will start that. We'll also launch on social media and our website and things like that. What will happen is we will have a board, and then people will submit their projects or their ideas of, hey, I think that this community needs this. We'll send it to the board. We'll make those decisions, and then we'll start the projects. Yeah. So it's going to be fun. That is going to be something very exciting. And I'm hoping that we can pull people, from outside our organization, either to the board or to just get on board to get on board with the project so that we can get more people involved. And it's just a really feel good thing. I mean, we do something with Zanzibar where we just clean up the neighborhood for St. Joseph.
Oh, that's great.
And I know it sounds crazy. You're picking up trash. There's
not crazy. There's plenty of trash.
And there's some interesting things that people throw out. But we do that and you feel so good at the end of it. You're like, first off, you're cleaning up an area that has a lot of nice houses and businesses. Yeah. And so and you just feel good at the end of it. So I'm hoping that we can get more involved to where when you leave for the day, you just feel like, wow, we really did something great for this area.
Yeah, because you're not talking about having a nonprofit to just take up donations, to give out donations, but actual service projects where people can do activities together that are like bonding and as well as just give you that sense of meaning that you're building something and participating in something that's bigger than yourself. And that is so important.
Yeah, I think it's important too for people outside of like the corporate office to see that, our managers, our servers, bartenders, production workers, whoever wants to be involved. But I think when you start to see, when you work for a company and you start to see that they do things outside of those four walls, then you start to appreciate what the real meaning is behind Craft House Pizza and or Hometown Brewing and Hearts and Crafts. And maybe it'll inspire some of them to get more involved, not just with us, but around the city. Or it'll give them an idea of what they want to do, when they grow up. When they're,
exactly. All those people, you're saying they work in the restaurant and they're like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And you're right. This will give them a good variety.
And hopefully, we keep a lot of them. We have a lot of great employees. And it's exciting to see what they're doing, going to school and talking about it. I remember those days.
Right, when you thought you were going to be an attorney and what was it, contracts for sports?
Yeah, contract law. I just thought it was so fun. I was like, I'm going to go to law school. And then I just really...
Okay, I do need to know, why did you think that it was going to be so fun to do contract law? Because that doesn't ring my fun bells.
Honestly, I think it was the idea of being able to keep... it's an organized trait. You have to, it requires a lot of detail and attention to detail. Okay. And I've always kind of been like that, where things are very much how they're supposed to be, very straight, very symmetrical, and I just liked it. I was in school and I was taking SPAD classes, and it just seemed like something that I would be really good at. But I ended up being better at restaurants, I guess.
Maybe not better at restaurants, but I think you do bring an orderliness to your restaurants, and just this level head and big picture thinking that you're doing, and also this focus on the overall service of getting to know people. Big picture, not how fast can we turn over tables, but a long term, what can we build and how are we going to get there? This is how we're going to get there. And so it's soft, but it's also that organized and methodical process of these are the steps to get to creating the community you want to build. And so I really admire that, Nicole.
Well, I will say there have been a lot of failures. You know, you learn, when you start in an industry at 18 years old and you've been in it for 17 years, you have a lot of stories you could tell about, I thought it would be this way, or I thought that I was right all the time. Just to make it simple, when I first got into management, I was young. And I thought no matter what, because I had a name tag that said manager, that you just did what I said and you were supposed to respect me. As I've gotten older, respect is very much earned and not given. And it's all about how you treat people, and their strengths and their weaknesses, and you work with them on that. Have I ever been a perfect manager? Was I ever? No. I've learned a lot, though. If I could go back, I would change some things, but it's made me better now. So I have to be thankful for some of those failures.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very humbling.
Yeah.
And restaurants in general are very humbling, because people will tell you exactly what they like and don't like, and it doesn't matter if you're having a good day or bad day, you're going to hear it. And it's all about how you handle those conflicts. And people don't like confrontation, and that's probably been the hardest thing, is how to handle that part of it. So a lot of failures. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there haven't been, because I wouldn't be where I am, mentally, or, in this position if it hadn't have been for that.
Yeah, so. Definitely. Sometimes you got to try everything the wrong way before you are sure that you hit upon the right thing.
And I work with, like I said, a lot of great people who have either been with this company, with me or longer than I have, but we talk through a lot of things, and I feel like our support system is very strong. And so it's nice to be able to have people to rely on, and it's nice to be able to have people to rely on outside of the industry, with people that you meet at some of the events, and then, you can reach out to them and say, I think, maybe we could change this or do that. And so you just have to keep an open mind about everything.
Right.
And that's okay. At first, like I said, it was like my way or the highway. Well, that's wrong.
Well,
don't do that.
It's funny how the more you learn, the less you know.
Yeah.
Because you start out knowing everything, and then it's like the broader your horizons get, the more you're like, do I really know anything, though?
That goes back to being humbled very quickly. Humbled very, very quickly. And I appreciate every lesson that I have learned. And still, today, tomorrow, next month, I'm still going to be learning new things. And I think I've embraced that challenge, and I have not looked at it as failures anymore, but more of just, it's knowledge.
Yeah. With a curiosity of, okay, how can this be better?
Yeah, and I think that's something that everybody should strive to be, is just somewhat better. Like I said, if I could go back and change things, I probably would in some aspects, but then I wouldn't have learned everything that I have. So
exactly.
It's been a fun journey.
Yeah.
It's not law.
It's not. Well, we'll keep it as little law as possible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so if people want to follow you on social media, what are your handles?
So you can find us for Hometown Brewing Company. It's going to be HT Brew Co. And then Craft House Pizza is going to be Craft House Pizza.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. We try to keep it as simple as possible. Right. Like I said, if, anybody that's listening to this has ideas about TikTok or Twitter, by all means, feel free to share. I feel like I'm going to need to get somebody a little bit younger to do TikTok, because that is a whole different ball game.
There's room for delegation, right?
There's going to have to be something. I don't think you'll ever see me on TikTok dancing, but if that's what it's going to take, I'm open-minded. I'll give it a shot.
Well, look at you being brave. This is Nicole Allender, everybody, being brave.
Yeah. And, or just embarrassing myself to no end.
But, that helps other people to, feel like it's safe for them to put themselves out there, too. So
that's one reason why I love doing some of the news shoots, is because, it's, when they're live. So whatever happens. It's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. Yeah. It is. But, you get on there, and even if it's a small little hiccup in something, say sauce explodes or whatever it is, they say, well, that's great for TV because, it's real. And people don't want things so scripted. And I have to, for me, I'm like, that's where the organization comes in. It's like, I want it to be scripted sometimes. But it is, it's fun when things happen and they turn out to not be such. embarrassing disasters.
Yes, exactly. We can be realistic and not be a mess.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you heard it here on the Lou Review podcast. You can subscribe to be alerted next time there is a new episode. They are released on Mondays. You can follow me on the Lou Review podcast on Facebook, and I might be changing my Instagram handle here soon. It's been at Lou Food Reviews, and that's what it's been on TikTok as well. But keep watching because that might change. So, and I'll see you in the next episode with another person who is making the Louisville, Kentucky area great.